Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. This is Newsfeed at noon on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. The headlines today: the Foreign Affairs Department alerts the Interpol regarding Alice Go and company. And this just in, Go's cohort Cassandra Ong is now in Indonesian custody. Lower airfares in September await travelers, and a cafe in Kenya has a new attraction, a robot waiter. Senator Risa Hontiveros says the Foreign Affairs Department has already alerted Interpol about the case of dismissed Mayor Alice Go. Wanted by the Senate, Go was able to flee the country, angering no less than President Bongbong Marcos. We have more from Agatha Gregorio.
Heads will roll. That promise from President Bongbong Marcos as Philippine authorities failed to detect Alice Go's departure from the country. This is also what senators expected from the chief executive.
Dapat lamang dahil nakaka-frustrate naman talaga na nakatakas, nakaalpa si Mayor Go.
Dapat lang marinig natin yan sa chief executive kung may mga executive agencies na nagpabaya o worse, kung kasabwat dito sa pagpapatakas o pagtakas kay Mayor Alice Go o Guo Huaping. Dapat lang may managot. That's the principle of transparency and accountability.
The former Bamban mayor is wanted by the Senate for refusing to appear in the hearings on illegal Philippine offshore gaming operations, or POGOs. The raid in Bamban triggered investigations on POGOs, eventually leading to the president himself announcing a POGO ban. The global police organization Interpol may also soon help in the search for Guo. Senator Risa Hontiveros says the Foreign Affairs Department reported to Interpol the Philippine passports of Guo, her siblings Wesley and Sheila, and Cassandra Ong, who is a representative of the Pogo Interlock. But that's not the DFA's only move to find Guo.
Ang DFA OCA, yung isang opisina nila, Office of Consular Affairs, ay gumawa ng isang precautionary measure na isama sina Mayor Alice Go at kanyang pamilya sa passports watchlist database. Ito ay upang mapigilan yung pag-issue ng bagong passport kay Mayor Alice Go o Guo Huaping at sa kanyang mga family members.
Hontiveros adds she has information that Guo is now in Indonesia, but they are still looking into the possibility Guo has been coming in and out of the Philippines. The Senate is also studying whether Immigration Commissioner Norman Tancinco and other officials of the agency should resign.
Klaro tingin ko na imposibleng nakaalis siya, nakatakas siya, na walang ni isang tumulong sa kanya na dapat sa halip ay pinigilan yung pag-alis niya. Or at the very least, dahil nasa ilbo na siya noon, Immigration Lookout Bulletin Order na nag-inform sa ating mga law enforcement authorities na siya ay paalis. Kasi bakit walang official record ng kanyang pag-alis?
Meanwhile, Senate President Cheese Escudero says he has discussed with Senator Win Galan a possible perjury case against Guo.
Na-refer na namin sa Senate Legal para naman airtight yung kaso. Hindi yung madidismiss. Wala na nga dito, madidismissan pa kami ng kaso, nakakahiya naman. Ayusin na namin ng tama, hindi namin na madaliin to.
Agatha Gregorio, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
One of the individuals involved in the investigation of the illegal pogo in Bamban, Tarlac, Cassandra Ong, is reportedly now in custody of Indonesian immigration authorities. Ong left the country together with dismissed Mayor Alice Go. Hana T is live at the Batasang Pambansa to give us details. Hana, go ahead.
Mai Cassandra Ong, the representative of Lucky South 99, the pogo firm behind the raided hub in Pampanga, is now under the custody of the Indonesian immigration, according to Congressman Dan Fernandez. Fernandez says the Philippine National Police is now coordinating with Indonesian authorities. Ong's detention comes as Philippine authorities hunt for her and former Bamban Mayor Alice Guo and her siblings in connection with illegal pogo activities in Central Luzon. The four were able to leave the country without having gone through immigration. It can be recalled Ong was accompanied by former presidential spokesman Harry Roque in a visit to the Philippine Amusement Gaming Corporation to work out a deal on pogo licenses. Meanwhile, the House Quad Committee continues its hearing on a number of issues. Right now, lawmakers are now hearing testimonies from witnesses on the influx of Chinese nationals in the country, as well as proliferation of illegal drugs. Back to you.
Thank you, Hannah T. there reporting. Despite the absence of Mayor Alice Guo, cases against her are still being readied by the Philippine Anti-Organized Crime Commission, or PAOCC. In the Senate, a joint panel will look into the departure of Guo as Senator Win Galan also prepares a perjury case against her. Meanwhile, the PAOCC is confident we can have Guo repatriated. PAOCC spokesperson Winston John Casio says there are many legal avenues available to make sure that Guo will be made accountable for her alleged crimes. Senator Risa Hontiveros wants to realign the 10 million peso funding for the publication of a children's book written by Vice President Sara Duterte. Hontiveros describes the OVP's budget request for the book as improper, saying taxpayers' money shouldn't be used to publish it. The senator also flagged the OVP's budget request of over 2 billion pesos for 2025, which she notes is triple the amount of the largest request from past administrations. Still on the controversial children's book, VP Sara Duterte dismisses allegations it was plagiarized after netizens pointed out its uncanny resemblance to an American graphic novel. The vice president asserts it is simple to write a story based on personal experience. She adds, the book she wrote is meant to foster a love for reading and writing among children. She also says the real issue is not the book, but the poor reading proficiency among our students. The vice president then warned she plans to write another book, this time about a friend's betrayal. House lawmakers unanimously approve on third and final reading a bill prohibiting the substitution of poll candidates on mere grounds of withdrawal. Under House Bill 10524, substitution will only be allowed if a person who filed his or her certificate of candidacy becomes permanently incapacitated. It defines permanent incapacity as a mental or physical impairment or both that prevents a candidate from performing the position's duties. Former President Rodrigo Duterte was a substitute in the 2016 elections. So was his daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, in 2022. Coming up on Newsfeed at noon, higher toll at the SLEX now in effect, but lower airfares await travelers in September. These and more when we return. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still watching Newsfeed at noon here on BNC. The Philippines' new mpox patient is infected with a mild clade II variant and not the deadlier variant that's rapidly spreading in Africa. This was confirmed by Health Secretary Ted Herbosa, who announced Monday the country's 10th mpox case since July 2022 and the first since the World Health Organization declared the more lethal variant a public health emergency of international concern. President Bongbong Marcos has ordered increased surveillance after outbreaks were reported in Africa and cases detected in parts of Europe and Asia. Over 42,000 liters of oil were collected Wednesday from the sunken tanker Terra Nova in the waters of Bataan. The Philippine Coast Guard says another booster pump was installed to boost the siphoning operation, which is now in full swing. The ship sank off Limay in Bataan on July 25 while carrying 1.4 million liters of industrial fuel oil, causing a spill that reached nearby areas like Cavite and parts of Metro Manila. Those planning on traveling this upcoming long weekend should expect higher toll rates at the South Luzon Expressway. Regulators say the toll hike at SLEX took effect Monday, August 19. Motorists traveling from Alabang to Calamba will have to pay an additional 10 pesos for Class 1 vehicles, 20 pesos for Class 2, and 30 pesos for Class 3. Those traveling from Calamba to Santo Tomas and Batangas will see an increase of 2 pesos for Class 1, 6 pesos for Class 2, and 8 pesos for Class 3. This is the second tranche of adjustments, with the first implemented in November last year. Air travelers can expect lower fares next month after the easing of fuel surcharges. Starting September 1st, the Civil Aeronautics Board will implement Level 5 fuel surcharges down from the current Level 6. That means surcharges for domestic flights will range from 151 pesos to 542 pesos, depending on distance. For international flights, it will fall between 498 pesos and 775 pesos. The agency says the move is due to a notable drop in the average price of jet fuel. The Finance Department secures the backing of streaming giant Netflix on a proposal to impose value-added tax on foreign digital service providers. The DOF says Netflix expressed its support during a Wednesday meeting between its senior officials and Finance Chief Ralph Recto. Recto said the proposed 12% VAT is projected to generate over 20 billion pesos in revenue. Back in June, the Bicameral Conference Committee approved the final version of a bill which aims to level the playing field between local and international digital service providers. When Newsfeed at Noon returns, global pop superstar Taylor Swift breaks her silence on her canceled Vienna shows. Stay tuned on BNC. Welcome back to Newsfeed at Noon. Public health issues take center stage at a summit led by the Department of Interior and Local Government in Pasay City. Bea de la Cruz now joins us for details. Bea.
My DILG Secretary Benher Abalos assures the public the agency is taking all measures to prevent the spread of mpox and dengue. At the Local Governance Summit 2024, Abalos said they are coordinating with the Health Department and cascading information down to ground level, raising public awareness. Abalos underscored the importance of the Barangay at Kalinisan Day, a weekly cleanup drive to ensure solid waste management and environmental responsibility that helps prevent the rise in dengue cases. The Local Governance Summit is working with the United Nations to exchange information and addressing what needs to be done in a local and national level. Back to you.
Thank you. Bea de la Cruz there reporting. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton takes the stage on night 3 of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, armed with jokes and jabs aimed at Donald Trump. During his speech, Clinton took a page out of Trump's playbook, poking fun at the age of the Republican presidential candidate. Trump constantly attacked U.S. President Joe Biden over his age and his mental fitness before the American leader dropped out of the race.
Now let's cut to the chase. I am too old to gild the lily. 2 days ago, I turned 78, the oldest man in my family of 4 generations. And the only personal vanity I want to assert is I'm still younger than Donald Trump.
A restaurant in Nairobi has a new attraction, robot waiters. Programmed to greet and serve customers, the humanoid robots, or androids, are considered a pioneering venture for Nairobi, which is already being dubbed Silicon Savannah. The cafe owner says he was inspired by similar services seen during his air travels to Asia and felt compelled to bring home the experience. China's Ziyuan County celebrates the annual River Lantern and Song Festival. The colorful festival is being held to mourn the memory of ancestors and pray for happiness and peace. This year, special activities include a fireworks show and a folk art display, which involves splashing molten metal to create sparkling streaks of light. Floyd Mayweather Jr. will step back into the ring to face a familiar foe. The boxing legend will again fight John Gotti III, the grandson of the late New York mob boss John Gotti, on August 24 in Mexico. Their first match in June last year was marred by a massive brawl, and Mayweather and Gotti are looking to settle the score this weekend.
I know we're going to have a sellout crowd, and I've done this a million times. So I'm here to show up, show out, and do what I do. I'm a fighter to the day that I die.
Floyd honored his word. He gave me the rematch. They didn't have to. Could have moved on and did his thing, and I appreciate that. And we're going to put on a good show. We're going to fight. So it's going to be exciting.
Global pop superstar Taylor Swift breaking her silence on her canceled shows in Vienna. On a lengthy Instagram post, Taylor said she was overcome with a new sense of fear and tremendous guilt for canceling her stop in Austria. She also thanked authorities for foiling the terror plot. Taylor also explained her silence, saying she waited to speak until the European leg of her tour concluded to prioritize the safety of her fans. All 3 nights of Taylor's shows in Vienna were canceled after authorities arrested a 19-year-old man who confessed to plotting what he called a bloodbath during the concert. The Eras Tour, the highest-grossing concert in tour history, is now on a scheduled break. It will resume in October with final stops in the U.S. and Canada. And that's Newsfeed at noon this Thursday, August 23. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to BNC for more top-of-the-hour news on Free TV Channel 31 and also on our website, bnc.ph. Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top. Good afternoon.